Welcome to Podcast Beyond. How you doing? I am your host, Chris Roper, editor-in-chief of the IGN PlayStation team, if I can say that correctly. With us, as always, Greg Miller, Jeff Haynes, and Ryan Clements.
Yep.
First off, apologies that we didn't have an episode last week, and also thank you to the board members who so nicely said things like lame and you are full of crap and what the hell is going on when we give you a free service. But anyway, aside from that, thank you. We do apologize for not having it last week.
I don't.
There was, Greg doesn't.
What's up, Greg?
I was in the office until about 11 a.m., and that was it. And nobody else was here, so it was actually impossible for us to record an episode. So timing just didn't work out. But anyway, today we have 2 weeks worth of questions and stuff to talk about, and some pretty cool things. We're not going to make this a 2-hour show because I have things to do soon.
I don't.
Greg can just sit here. But anyway, the
Greg Miller Show.
We should have lots of interesting things to tell you here. Anybody have anything to say since we were gone for last week? Any new happenings on home front or whatever?
I had a nice little mini vacation that you guys were able to let me go on, which
there you
I
go.
really enjoyed.
Which was part of the reason that we didn't have a podcast.
Yep.
So you
It's
can
all
blame
my
Ryan.
fault, basically.
It's Ryan's fault that we didn't have a podcast.
Damn you.
Just because your fake
Screw
girlfriend's
that.
in town?
Yeah, she was
Anybody
here.
see this girl?
I saw her.
Yeah, I
Everybody
think I saw the
met
back of her head.
except you.
Was it the same girl from the photos, or is this just some other girl?
I haven't seen the
I
photos.
saw the back of her head, so I don't know if I can
She
substantiate
left me a
it.
note on my desk since I wasn't here all last
Really?
week,
Huh?
saying she
Yeah,
was real.
She felt bad
And then
about
she's
it.
like, "Oh, and I'll write in Sanskrit at the end to prove it's me, as
That's
if I
true.
can read Sanskrit or would know what that language
dead
looks
language.
like."
Yeah.
No,
You're
she's,
majoring in a 5,000-year dead language.
I love that movie.
Latin, the best I can do. Go.
no, she's
That movie's so
she's
good.
nice for the 5 seconds.
If
I talked
anybody
to her.
knows what movie that is, knows the reference, don't say it.
No, I know. I have a ton of Devil May Cry swag to give away, so that's one of the things.
Okay.
Give it
Yeah.
send
So
it in.
the first reader to reply to, or I guess, what should they do? Send us an email or
Yeah.
reply to the.
No.
Yeah, just send us an
It
email.
should be an email.
Should be an email because the thread might not be up in
Right.
time. So
Well,
send an email.
Send the email.
to us. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Hold on. They could click on the reply, like on the comment section of the Beyond article where they downloaded
Nope.
this.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
That
so
way
reply.
It looks like people read and listen to the site.
well,
too.
but if the people on the boards don't have
mean
insider,
they
then they're
don't?
kind of screwed because they can't read that.
really?
We'll just use
Comments are only available?
No. He's talking about when I actually post the podcast. That
In the
article
podcast comment
in the comments.
Gotcha. Okay, so
There you go.
reply to the podcast story comments,
Bill?
and then
Perfect.
whoever has it first, whoever can name that movie.
I'll do the first 5.
Okay, we'll
I
do
will
the
send Devil May
first
Cry
5.
stuff too. I have so much Devil May Cry
There you go.
shirts and stuff.
All right, so first 5 win some stuff.
Yay.
Okay, let's get on with the
That was
Roper
it,
report.
huh?
That was it.
That we only
All right,
cared about
does
Ryan.
it- does it-
week
does it-
off.
What do you want to say?
I was at WrestleMania.
There we go.
It was fun. I got to play. Oh, and if on Friday, tomorrow, everyone should watch the Insider feature. You should buy Insider just for this feature that me and Bozon did because it is fantastic.
It looked pretty funny.
Yeah,
It's
Excellent.
awesome.
From what I've seen.
It's fantastic.
Jeff, you got anything?
No, I was just down in LA doing the PSN thing and then processing videos and writing.
Wow, you had fun.
There we
Lots
go.
of fun.
Yeah, it was awesome. All right, so let's get on with the Roper report.
Time for some news.
There's not a ton of news, but it's all actually pretty cool. SmackDown 09 was announced, which you just mentioned. You were down at WrestleMania, so it was THQ's SmackDown craziness.
Ryan's already jumping.
WWE SmackDown versus Raw 2009.
Yeah, so and that's coming to everything.
Yep.
So yeah.
If you have
No,
something that plays
no,
video games.
no subtitle like "Bring the Pain" or
No, they've stayed away
"Here's
from
the
that
Funk" or
recently.
anything. No?
I think the title's long enough. They didn't even want to add versus ECW anywhere in there because they included ECW
And they also
last year.
got confusing.
Here's the funk.
I can't tell which of the old games before they had years it was in what order. Bring the
Oh, yeah.
Pain or any. I was like,
Well, it was SmackDown 1 and 2, and then it was SmackDown. Well, they had different things too, Know Your Role or whatever.
Like,
and then
smell
it was
what
I'm
SmackDown,
cooking?
SmackDown
I mean, like-
Just Bring It, and then.
I don't know what order those went in, so I'm
Yeah.
glad they're
Well,
using
it's
the
confusing,
data.
yeah, I
It is
agree.
really confusing. Plus, if you go to the store, you're like, is this new? If you don't follow.
Well, they just put out that collection too of 3 of the versions of the game together
you go.
for whatever.
Also announced is that another release date or another release is SOCOM Confrontation is coming out on September 16th.
Never forget.
Never forget. Let's see. The DualShock 3 started shipping this week.
Booyah!
The press release was a little
Everyone's vague on this.
very vague about actually when it was going to hit stores, but we have readers in our forums are saying that stores are reporting that it's actually on the way there.
Yeah.
Maybe showing up. So
Some people
if
have
I
them
can give
already.
you a peek
There you go.
into our next segment, EB GameStop is saying 4/4. So tomorrow, Friday.
there you go. So DualShock 3 right on the horizon.
Go camp out for it. That's what I
Contact
say.
your local store.
Yes, contact them.
$54.99.
This is
can
pretty
actually get
cool.
one now.
This is pretty cool. I mean, I'm as everybody knows, I'm a huge Gran Turismo fan, and apparently, well, we have an interview going up, I believe tomorrow, but anyway, by the end of the week, and in it, Polyphony or Yamauchi, or I'm hoping I'm saying his name correctly. I'll just refer to him as Polyphony. Says that damage damage will be a downloadable thing for Prologue. So presumably it'll be in the full game right from the start, and it may be as ready as early as this autumn.
That's a huge thing.
It's a massive
That's one
thing
of the
because
main things people get all bent out of shape about.
so now we're talking about Prologue, and Gran Turismo 5 has damage and online play, which was really the only two things missing from 4, and plus graphics or whatever. So.
Didn't you say one of the big hitches was that they had to get the licenses to do all that with all those nice cars?
I don't know how that works anymore. I mean, I'm assuming they have to get some sort of okay, but every other game on the market has damage. I mean, Forza has damage, and that's got makes from everybody. So,
yeah, but you'd have to think that with GT5 having more than 800 cars, I mean, the damage modeling on the number of cars
And
there
plus,
is going to be
you
insane.
can't switch it out piece by piece. I remember in Germany when I talked to them about it, they were talking about how there's all these individual bumpers and stuff you have to bring in and do all this other junk. And
yeah.
I mean, it seems like that'd be a lot to process and get going.
I'm wondering if it's just all real time. It's just real time deformation. They don't have actually predefined models.
Maybe it would be like back on the PS1, you'll just tap another car and it'll just be a fireball.
Maybe so. I
A
have
bumper
not.
will automatically fall off.
I'm assuming, I don't know, that there will be more on this in the interview. Our UK guys have done the interview, so I haven't read it yet. I just knew this little blurb that we posted this morning. But that's pretty cool. And then the last bit of news that I'll mention today, I'm trying to do my Conan O'Brien thing there. The last bit of news to mention is that Sony announced, it was a couple days ago, that, or Monday, I guess it was, that the PlayStation Store is getting a new interface.
Woo!
Come mid-April sometime. And it seems
Facelift.
like, it's getting a complete overhaul. It looks like, from our guesstimation, that it'll launch on the 17th probably, maybe a day or two beforehand, because they said this week's updates today and next week's won't happen because the store is down basically, or the store is basically on pause until the update happens. But it'll be ready in time for Prologue's release, which is on the 17th on the online. You can go in the stores and buy it on the 15th or whatever that is. But so I mean, it looks like it'll launch on the 17th, which I hopefully that doesn't blow them up. Because launching new technology along with a big release is never a good idea, but maybe they know what they're doing. But anyway, that the PlayStation Store update is we're gonna come back to that in a second. Before then, though, going down in chronological order on our little event sheet, our agenda here. Next, we should find out what games are coming out this week.
Luckily, I can help you because I have the official IGN list of upcoming PlayStation software on all 3 platforms by the IGN editors. PlayStation software, upcoming platforms, PlayStation software. IGN editors.
There was that drawn out enough.
Very good.
You know what? The middle of that reminded me of that. What was it? Was it Sesame Street? But with the pinball thing,
It had
where it's
the-
like
the
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Reminded me of that.
12, yeah.
Man,
It had that exact same feeling.
I love that thing.
Maybe
All
I
right.
subconsciously drew
You
that out
probably
of my
did.
memory.
So it's a depressing week. PlayStation 3. There's nothing, but I put the DualShock on there.
That's worthy.
It's not. It's not software.
But it's okay. We'll
You'll let it go?
It
It
updates old
enhances your
software.
previous game.
Yeah,
Exactly,
There you go.
so there
makes
you
all
go.
your games new again. Go out and
Yeah.
buy everything you sold back. PS2 gets Mana Chemia Alchemist of Alriva.
Yeah.
Okay, did I say that right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And PSP gets nothing.
It's a great release.
It's just a slow week. That's all.
Lovely,
Yeah.
lovely schedule.
Is there anything? Do we have any? I know Blognak's dead, but has his spirit told us anything that might be cool on the PlayStation Network?
No, because
No.
there's nothing coming out for the
Because
next 2
it's
weeks.
dead for 2
the
weeks.
PlayStation pause.
I thought there was an update today, and this
No,
is the
no.
last one.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
No,
last
like,
week's update was the
you can-
final one
yeah.
before
You
this all
can
happens.
you can still go on the store and download things that are
Already
on
up
there
there?
now.
But there won't be
but
any
there's
new
no
content.
new content for the next 2 weeks.
Well,
Although we are hearing that there's going to be a lot of stuff to come up when the store
Yeah,
launches.
there's going to be a flood of things.
One thing
that
that's kind of crappy, I know a lot of people are very sad about this, is the ending song to Portal is out for Rock Band on the 360, but since the PlayStation Store is
wow, I
on
didn't think about
pause,
that.
you can't get it until the middle of the month. So PS3 owners are kind of been jacked on
No,
that
I
one.
know.
But it's free though, so
They're not alive
I
yet.
know this will bring up more people saying I'm a fanboy, but we already know that I, whatever, that I love PS3. My question is, didn't the store update went live in Rock Band, right?
yes.
So even from there, you can't get
No,
Portal?
'cause
That's
I
how I
was-
got it in my
No,
360.
because I checked it last night.
Really?
And
Lame.
it is not there.
Lame.
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 Let's move on to topic of the week.
Topic of the week.
That was cool. So this week's topic, as I mentioned,
Blowout
that we
speakers.
would get back to. We're going to come back to the new PlayStation Store interface and talk about it. We have, if you go to our site, you can click on the story, whatever. There's some screenshots on there if you haven't seen them already. Looks pretty cool. One thing that's noted in the press release, which is pretty rad, is that the store is now local on your system. So it's sort of like how the Xbox Live thing is on there, where it'll download icons and stuff like that, all the data. But the actual right now you're using the browser to
It's
go
like a
on there.
web page.
Yeah, it's a web page.
Integrated online storefront.
There you go. So now, thanks for Hilderson's Ghost. So now it's going to
Is
be
there a beta?
yeah. Now it's going to be basically built into the system. It should be much faster. And should be hopefully easier to use. Which one thing that I think is cool, which I'm very happy to see in the screenshots, is that there's things are broken down by category now. So say I like racing games or I want to play racers or whatever, you can now click on demos or games or whatever, and then you see like all the categories for racing games, shooters, action titles, whatever.
Well, they technically had that before, but I think the visual images or visual
Right,
icons
it's-
are a lot larger now.
Yeah,
Gonna
and
be better
and
organized.
and
it
it's-
was such
it's
a pain
organized
to
much better.
navigate before.
Yeah,
That was
exactly.
The thing. I mean, yeah, they had a whole bunch of stuff in there, but it was like you always just went to newest editions, and then
Well, that's the thing is before navigating through all that kind of stuff was a giant pain, but now since looks like it's it's all this is all assumption based on the screenshots. That if it works like it is, those things will actually be usable now. Whereas before it was, it would take you 20 minutes just to browse the store. So now you can do it in like a minute.
Do you think?
Hopefully.
I mean, since they're taking this huge break, is there going to be a glut of new content? You think when this thing
Yes.
goes live?
That's what the rumors
Yes.
say.
That'd be
Yeah.
awesome, dude.
I know that I have looked at Blognex's findings, and there is supposed to be a huge amount of stuff to make up for the fact that.
Is it cool
it's-
stuff like PS1 games, or is it like
Right-
here's a
Right,
Devil
right
May Cry
now,
wallpaper?
it's still tentative, but it is supposed to be a large amount of stuff to complement the new face look,
Okay.
the hotter, sexier PlayStation Store to attract the young kids. It's trying to turn into a MILF.
That's what the kids like.
But it's supposed to have like a ton of stuff to make up for like the fact that it's going to be down for 2 weeks, and obviously the headlining title is GT5 Prologue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Like everybody knows that. I mean, that's just going to be the one that is pretty self-apparent.
Jeff, I'm not gonna lie. I want my Patapon theme. Where is the Patapon theme?
You know what? If I was making the Patapon theme, I'd give you the Patapon theme, Greg.
Jeff, I'm thinking you and I should start making themes.
I think
You
we
can
might
make
have to. We might have to just download some
ahead and
stuff
make
and
it.
make some Patapon
Yeah.
themes.
Have you guys?
we
have
should
you
make
guys
a Beyond theme.
have you downloaded
should.
the theme
Yep.
software and look at what you have to do?
No, is it real tough?
It's like no. It looks really simple. I haven't tried to do it, but I looked through the instructions on how to do it. It looks
Yeah.
real simple. You just make graphics of the appropriate size, and then it has a software that sort of organizes it all. So you just drag it in the right place. But you have to make a trillion icons.
Yeah, you do have
Yeah,
to make
so
a
like-
icons
everything's got
for
that.
it.
Yeah. So and it's
And if you
it-
decide to have custom sounds, that's one other thing.
Yeah, I mean, there are more icons than it seems like there would be just by looking at it, because you're not just creating the top row, you're creating every single
When you go
option
into
for
those
all of
things,
those
yeah.
things, and it's a undertaking.
All right, well,
Yeah. So-
listeners, I have more swag, so go ahead and create a podcast Beyond theme. It can be it can be as in depth as you want. I think it'd be cool
man.
to have all our heads for
As the
like,
main ones.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Hell
And
yeah.
then, like in the when you go into like system settings, that can be whatever. I don't care about
Yeah.
that, but the main things.
And sounds would just be random beyonds.
That would actually be very
There
rad.
you go. Do it. You'll get all sorts of swag.
Yeah.
But like just to go back
I'm
to
liquidating my show. My supply.
everything must go.
Wacky waving inflatable arm flame.
Everything must go. Come and take Greg Miller's stuff.
Due to a shipping error, I am now inundated with wacky waving inflatable arm flame.
I want to get one of those dudes, man. I don't really have
Keep
a yard.
grandma company.
I don't really have a yard now, but I want one of those guys.
God, I love that.
They're kind of cheap. They're not that much.
Really?
I could be all wrong, but I think they're like $100 or something.
That's probably just the air pump.
We should get
Yeah.
together. We should get together a group, like a pool, and then buy one for like Nate's desk.
That would
Put
be
it there
awesome.
when he's like gone on vacation.
We'd have to
That
get a
fits.
short one though, but I know you can buy them in different sizes.
Yeah.
The short ones are the cheap ones.
Yeah. But just to go back to the whole store like topic, isn't it based pretty much around the Sing store? Like visual outlay.
It does look a lot like it, yeah.
If
Yeah.
anything, like, do we even know when SingStar's coming out? Is it soon?
It's
Because
April. Or no, I'm sorry, May now. It's May.
it's May.
Yeah.
Because it seems like it's almost a subliminal advertisement for, hey, SingStar PS3 coming out soon. I mean,
Well, they better get on
because it
it.
looks exactly the same as everything that we've seen so far.
Well, you figure that what it is Sony probably had a group inside there saying, "Hey, let's make an interface that works for everybody." And then they were thinking of SingStar, and they're like, "Hey, this is
actually works
all the
real
research
well,
that you've done and all the testing or whatever, because they've probably gone through a billion iterations. They're like, let's roll it into the store because it's cool."
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably where that came from. And I'm glad. We've been
Yeah.
talking about it forever.
Yeah.
Everybody's been talking about it forever. They needed a redesign. The thing's a piece of crap right now. So luckily, hopefully it works like we assume it's going to.
Although, like, it also brings up another thing that I was thinking, which is that, like, a lot of the games right now seem to be basically doing these interesting cross-promotional items with either, like, the system or what looks to be home. I mean, like, Warhawk got updated, and that's got, obviously, the hooks for home support. I mean, you've got, like a SingStar-influenced store look or store appearance. It seems like they're really doing a lot of definite cross-promotion between products and properties and systems and software and everything else.
I don't know that it's necessarily cross promotion, because you wouldn't know from using the PlayStation Store. You wouldn't know that's what SingStar looked like. What they're doing instead, I think, is making everything sort of more cohesive, so that when you move from PlayStation Network and the store to SingStar, you're like, oh, I'm already used to this.
Right, or to home, and
yeah,
it
so
looks
it's way
similar.
easier. I think
Here's a
that's
question
what
I
it
have
is.
for you guys too, and this is again, listeners I know love to flog us for whatever. I said a lot of F's there. I noticed when I reviewed Karaoke, this American Idol or whatever, Karaoke Revolution presents American Idol Encore this week for PS3. In last week's store update, did they have those songs in there? Did they like list them individually?
No, they didn't list them individually. They
when you turn on, American Idol, you can go in and there's a list of like 42 songs you can download.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
that on the blog they were listed individually, right?
No, they broke them out into a separate thing, but like the main
okay.
update was like all of these songs
Just
are
songs.
$1.50 a piece. Look down below for the
Okay,
list
okay.
or something like that.
I didn't know how they were doing that
Yeah.
because I know it's been fishy how they're going to handle everything together. And
So there's 40 some odd songs you know.
yeah, 42 are on there.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was a nice offering. Seeing as how when Xbox came out, there was 0.
Yeah. Oh, is there anything good?
Lots of country.
Yeah.
Chattanooga. Way down in the bottom of Chattanooga, it gets harder than a hoochie coochie.
Huh.
But
Well,
I learned who
That
I
doesn't,
was.
Right
that
on.
still doesn't beat your pig
A lot
song.
about living and living by the down by the river on a Friday night.
I'm completely lost as to what the hell is going on. Like,
Talking about
I think the 2-week break, our A game is
Never had a
off.
plan, just live for
Does anybody
me.
have anything else to add to the PlayStation Store topic, or
Okay,
should we just move on?
here's my. This is what I think.
Oh,
I
good.
think that Sony's online approach to their entire infrastructure and their entire organizational scheme is kind of like the THX startup noise. Because, like, for the first couple of years, the PlayStation's out, it's been like, and now eventually, I feel that, like, eventually it's going to go up to the, and everything's going to be perfect.
And then home will be the part where it just turns off.
I understand what you're saying, but I really cannot grasp how you put that analogy together.
That
what he
was
does
one
at
of
night.
the
This is what he does when
oddest
he goes home.
connections.
Yeah.
Good job, Ryan.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I mean that's correct. Sony is slowly fixing everything and slowly building up to, have a competent, online system. I mean, right, the lack
good,
of
but
like
it's not.
yeah, the lack of like a friends list that, properly translates on all games and voice support and stuff like that, supposedly is coming, and the PlayStation Store is now going to be fixed, and
I was playing karaoke yesterday for the review or whatever, and I was doing the online, and like no one's on to play online most of the time, so I started sending out random friend requests just to like the kids off my, because it shows your friend list.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say what they're playing though, so I was just hoping one of them might be doing it. So I sent one to the Fraz, one of our listeners or whatever, and his reply was, "I don't know what this request is for. You want to play Warhawk? Do you want to play Call of Duty?"
that sounds about right.
Anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stuff like that. I mean, it's good, but it's still not as intuitive as it could be.
It doesn't say Greg Miller would like to play.
But the other thing about the store, which is kind of odd, is like well, not that odd, but they're focusing solely on the PS3, not necessarily the PSP store, which I guess they're just going like, well, we'll just redesign the website or.
Well, no,
Well, that
that
doesn't. That one doesn't. I don't think that
it's
one
not as
works fine because it
yeah.
is a website, and I'm using a mouse.
Yeah.
And I'm doing everything else.
yeah.
I mean, like I just don't think that they're gonna like swap out its look to match the PS3 site as well. And that's not a problem. It's just like one of those things where you almost wonder if they're going to do such a global change, if it would just cross over everything that would wind
I
up
think they
being
need to
integrated
advertise that way more too.
Yeah,
they do.
Store, I mean,
'Cause I don't think a lot of people
I don't
really
think if you're
work
not
on it
if you're
or do
not one
anything.
of like the IGN people or whatever, one of the people who checks video game websites all the time, then I think you're missing it most of the time.
Yeah, I don't think you would actually know.
By the way, we weren't here last week, and R-Type Command demo is up on the PSN PC store. We'll have a
There you
preview up today.
Nobody would have known.
I know. Nobody did know.
Yep, there you go.
Sony called me today begging me to mention it.
Well, there
Very
you go.
good.
They're like, we're not even publishing this game, but we're helping someone.
You know what I think? The thing with the PC store redesign is that the PSP native store is in the works. Obviously, Sony's mentioned a couple times.
Right.
They won't give any sort of specifics on it, but it's coming along at some point. And so maybe they're just sort of like, let's focus on that. Let's wait till that comes out because that's gonna and then kind of roll back the PC store in case you don't have Wi-Fi or something. That's probably what it is, though. I think their focus on that end's got to be on the PSP version of it.
Right.
So,
Wah, wah.
have we beaten this horse to death?
Yes.
There
All right.
it goes.
It's dog food.
It's dead.
Don't we have a
Let's-
lot of mail, too?
We have a lot of mail.
2 weeks worth of mail.
Let's get to it.
McCall!
Say mail?
Male, female.
Mail, female.
Mail in the boat!
Sweet. I don't know what mail in the boat means.
Mail? Boat?
So we got a bunch
How
of
your
stuff.
mail
mail.
gets here from Europe?
Air mail.
Not anymore.
It gets here by carrier pigeon. They carry like 3-ton bags now.
When Columbus brought mail
African
over
or
here, you think it
European?
was in an airplane? Mm-mm.
Yeah, back in the day, man, that would have taken like a year to get mail.
Yeah.
African or European?
I mean, you gotta. Yeah, that's crazy.
What do you do?
Ryan's
singing the mail
continuing
song.
with the mail song.
Well, you guys were chatting away. I thought I'd spruce up the podcast.
All right, here we go. W. Solomon 1 says, after seeing some of the things that Home is offering, do you guys think it can be better than Xbox Live, or you think it will seem gimmicky? Xbox Live and Home are totally different.
Yeah, they're different products altogether.
Yeah, I think maybe, you know what? I mean, we've seen a bunch of emails that are sort of like this, like, does Home compete with Xbox Live and stuff? And it sounds like people are asking if it's, it's almost like they're trying to compare them directly, and it's totally different. Xbox Live is much more like the PlayStation Store cross with, cross media bar stuff with the friends list and stuff like that than PlayStation. PlayStation Home has nothing to do with any of that stuff, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're just
obviously.
hoping it'll bring,
Yeah, I
when
mean,
that update comes, that it'll bring the improvements out of being able to see what Jeff's played when I look at his name.
Yeah. all the
Exactly.
functionality
Yeah,
that
all the integration
Live
should
seems
be
to
there,
have.
but the actual content of Home
Is
is
you walking around looking
Yeah.
at
Virtual
trailers?
space.
Yeah, none of that
Dancing.
applies to anything
Texting.
that Xbox or Wii has. So,
Greg doesn't like it.
which I think is the big question: is it going to work, and is it going to draw people to use the service? But we will see. But do we think it could be better than Xbox Live? I don't know.
No.
Yeah.
Whatever.
The biggest thing is, in some ways, is also going to be if people that aren't into like MMO kind of things or like virtual spaces are actually even going to want to deal with it.
Yeah,
If they really,
that's the
if they
biggest-
provide free little arcadey games like they made it out to be, I think that's going to draw a few people at least as free games.
You know what? In a I don't know what's happening in the beta right now because we're not in it. They won't have any U.S. people in this
We're
thing.
not in the beta.
Yeah, we're not in the beta. Back they had the arcade games and they're pretty cool. You go play them, real simple.
That helicopter game looked cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some were kind of fun.
The
Except
one
that
thing
you can
I've
only have
seen.
one person at a machine at once. So if somebody else is playing, you just stand there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm not
But
100% sure either.
can't you see?
Yeah.
Can't you like watch them play? Though,
Oh yeah, you can
through
totally
the
watch it,
character?
Yeah, but why the hell
I
would
don't
you
wanna
want to
do
watch
that.
somebody else play an 8-bit game?
I don't even like watching anybody play root beer tapper in the lunchroom.
Yeah, well,
Go
that's-
online to watch people play
Yeah,
games.
I mean, yeah. All right, let's. Vex Doppel says, will you be giving another look at Lair after the analog patch is available?
God, for the
Possible
last
updated
time.
review if valid. So first off, everybody knows that this patch is coming. We think, but it's not official. I mean, they could just kind of give up on it and go, screw it, we don't care about this game anymore, and so it might never come out. But I mean, if it comes out, we're definitely going to do some sort of impressions on it. We're not going to re-review the game though, because our standards, and this much more applies to the PC guys, but we review games based on how they come out, so that if you don't have online or whatever, and you can't get the patch, you're not going to be, you're not going to get a review that doesn't apply to you. So we base reviews based on the retail version of the game minus any patches, and then we'll talk about patches later on or whatever, but or in the review we'll mention, hey, there might be a patch that does this and we'll fix these things, but anyway, it is not going to change our, what the hell was it, 4.9?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to change that at Bredesen says, what are your realistic expectations for Square Enix's Last Remnant?
Ryan, this question goes to you.
Yeah, basically.
Well, first of all, I don't really know much about it because they haven't let on a lot about it besides the fact that it's going to be one of their rare simultaneous worldwide releases, right, Jeff? You can check me on my facts here.
It's supposed to be, but nobody's actually said anything about the game for a long time.
But essentially, it apparently will kind of create this parallel between a more Eastern-style character, which we've kind of seen in previous Final Fantasy games, and it'll have a more Western-style character. I guess he's called the Conqueror or something like that, with the blood-red hair, and he's all mysterious, and he's supposed to be more relatable to us, apparently, because we are blood-red, angry, bloodthirsty conquerors.
Yep.
But, yeah. So I think it might be very cool, or it could be okay, but I don't think it's going to be bad.
The biggest thing is,
so it could be okay, it could be decent, or it could be great.
Yeah, the biggest.
Or it's probably not going to suck, but it could just be all right.
The biggest thing is getting Square Enix to crack
What else am I
the
supposed to say? We
blackout.
know nothing about it.
Okay, good. Then let's move on. Levito1 says, do you think that anytime in the near future we'll be able to download full PS3 games off the PlayStation Store in the same vein as Steam on the PC? If in the near future you mean a long time ago, then yes, because Warhawk you can download. Gran Turismo is coming out in a couple weeks. SOCOM is announced for it.
Soon.
Well, that's a downloadable game,
Well, yeah,
but I'm talking about games that are also available on retail. But Warhawk was out last fall or whatever.
Oh, last summer.
Yeah, last summer. So I mean,
That was a great line. If in the near future you mean a long ass time ago.
yeah. So I mean, it's totally already happening. Granted, it's only a handful of games, but
Right.
I mean, it's happening right now. So there you go. That answers that question.
Pwned.
If actually, let me go back and actually expand on this. If he's talking about all games,
Like 25 gig Blu-ray disc.
yeah, like trying to
games.
download Metal Gear. I
that
don't.
would be insane.
That won't.
There wouldn't be enough space on most people's hard drives.
That's the problem.
one thing.
That's the problem. You know what? It's going to be really cool when that happens, but I think it'll be a little while before you do releases that are that big because nobody's going to want to download a 50 gig game. Warhawk was what, like a 900 or a gig or something to download, which
Warhawk was I
900
think it was,
gigs. No.
no 900 megs.
I think it was about a gig, and the thing is
Yeah.
that they had compression through the entire thing, so it just would auto-compress and then recompress things
Yeah.
on the downloadable version.
Gran Turismo is not that big. It's not a 50 gig game, a prologue at least, and for the huge games, probably not anytime soon until they get everybody to change out to like 1 terabyte discs, and everybody has
Insanely
internet too
fast
connected to
pipes.
their Pseudo Prime 1979 says, will there be the usual summer drought, or are there going to be some awesome games coming out June through August?
Have you heard of Metal Gear Solid
other
4?
than MGS4?
He has.
Well, he
yeah, I mean-
should.
Or she.
This year seems pretty solid with a bunch of stuff, so it should be pretty cool. Announcing today at noon, which will be in half an hour from when we're recording now. So by the time you're doing this, we're announcing that Mercenaries 2 is coming out August 31st. So that's the last day on your list right here. Which, by the way, the trailer is funny as hell.
Really?
You should watch.
It did look pretty funny in the.
It
couple
explains the reasoning for the. Everybody knows it's a revenge story. It explains the reasoning for the revenge story, and you have to just watch it. But there should be some other good stuff.
When's Secret Agent Clank coming out? Is that May or June?
I think that's June.
There you go.
Yeah. So
Add
there's
it to
that.
the
I
list.
believe that's June.
Yeah. I mean,
Lego Indiana Jones, May or June?
I think that's June too.
There you go.
yeah.
Add that to the list.
Booyah.
Cha-ching.
So so there's gonna be some pretty good games. Maybe not. I mean, Metal Gear is obviously the big one. It's
Yeah.
a big one for all year. But I mean, there's gonna be some pretty cool stuff. Eternal Darkness says, how the hell does Insomniac pump out quality title every damn year? They aren't humans, are they?
No, they're robots.
No.
Robots and Lombaxes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
You know what? Okay, so I've been to Insomniac. They did a tour for when they were when Resistance was in the works a couple months before that came out, and I went there and I saw these guys. And from being there and then having been in a bunch of other publishers' sites, this isn't the case for everybody else, but Insomniac seems extremely refined and tight in how they do stuff, and they're like everybody is very focused on what they're doing. You can just tell by the way that they're explaining all their stuff, and they're like a machine over there. And they're all extremely talented people that don't. I'm guessing that they don't have to do a whole lot of redos. Like a lot of other companies make something like, that's not good, let's go back and revision it. I'm thinking these guys right from the start know exactly what they're doing. They're very fast at what they do. They're very streamlined, and that's just how they do it. They've been doing this stuff for a long time, and they're just very good. That's the explanation.
Yay!
And they also like have enough people that they can split up teams and go, okay, this team's working on this team's working on that, and they don't have to worry
Yeah,
about
that's
like
a good point too.
Yeah.
It's
like
not just one team
fighting their
doing
way
a
through
game every
who's
year.
doing what.
And I went to one of the I forget the title. I went to a GDC session with one of their programmers by the name of, and this is the greatest name of all time, Mike Action, who
Yes!
gave it was on SPU programming, and which by the way was a great presentation, even though it was incredibly technical, but it was still a great presentation. And the way he was explaining it was they move guys back and forth sort of, but it's like they'll work on this one title for the next year and then move all of the tech that they've done and start working on the second one. So like they did all this stuff for Resistance 1 and then moved that over and then tweaked it and whatever and modified it to do, use like a lot of their particle effects and that sort of thing, a lot of those bits and pieces, took that over to Ratchet, and then now they're bringing that stuff back and redoing it again and doing Resistance 2, and so they're kind of, they're not exactly the same engine, but a lot of the pieces are the same, and it's the same dudes doing the same stuff, so they're constantly improving and working on it. And then Eternal Darkness continues with any word on how Resistance 2 will handle unlockables. Any chance we'll see COD 4 or R6V2 style with weapons, abilities, and the like that are unlocked the more we play.
I think we need to track down Mike Action and ask him.
Yeah, we need
That
Mike
is an awesome name, man.
Yeah, it really is.
He should have his own theme song.
He actually should.
I
We can
can
make
work
one.
on
There
that.
you go.
All right.
They do their own podcast, so we should do one from beyond to them. Just
Yeah.
a Mike
Yep.
Action song.
There you go.
Mike Action.
That's good. I like that.
It's just a Flash Gordon ripoff.
Yeah, I know, but it's still good though. To answer the question, we have to make a full version of that thing.
Okay.
That's gonna be great.
Send it to them.
That's going to be in the
yeah.
closing song.
Well, yeah, we'll make it. We'll send it to them, and then they can play it on their show.
Okay.
Awesome.
And Pimp Beyond.
Bigo?
To answer the question about the unlockables, I don't know that anybody knows about this any of this stuff yet, so we'll see.
But most likely it'll be the same thing like the original Resistance with like, new guns, new modified like
Yeah.
abilities for your firearms and things like that.
Flunky44 says, "What was your overall favorite PS2 game and why?" Oof. That's a tough one, man.
That is a
That
really
is
rough one.
very, very rough.
I'm completely torn, and I've been this way for when God of War came out, and then Shadow of the Colossus, they were in the same year, and those two games are right there for me. I mean, when we were doing Game of the Year voting, then I flipped a coin because I was like, I can't even pick which game I like better. And then God of War 2 is sort of tied with me for God of War 1 because it's like the first one was the original, the second one's better though. So where do these go? But so if I'm going to say God of War 2 is better than 1, then I have a tie between God of War 1/2 and Shadow of the Colossus.
Nice.
So
Jeffrey.
That's a very hard
a tough
question.
one, isn't
Yeah, it's very tough, especially just having it sprung on you like last second. But I would probably say MGS3 Subsistence Limited Edition. To pull a quote from the Three Red Lights, that was something orgasmic delightful.
Okay,
All right.
Craig.
I am going to have a tie. And one of them, of course, is not going to be on anyone's list ever, and it's just because of memories. The first one is Metal Gear Solid 2, which is the one that I just played the wheels off of forever, and I just was so blown away by the gameplay, and I just loved how much I love the transition from 1 to 2 and how they made Snake look and how it played. I mean, I remember playing that and thinking it was the most, revolutionary thing in the world, just the way it felt. And obviously, story aside, and all the crazy crap at the end or whatever. I mean, I just loved it. The dog tags, it was awesome. But my tie is SmackDown Just Bring It, because it took over my college dorm.
Just bring it.
It was one of those things where the SmackDown franchise introduced me to one of my best friends ever. Like I walked out, I had moved from Illinois to Missouri. I knew no one. I had blue hair, and I decided I wanted to wear a Hawaiian shirt every day to class.
You had blue hair
Oh
and a
yeah,
Hawaiian
big
shirt.
time blue hair. Yeah.
Oh, my
I was
God.
insane, dude. And I walked out one day into the hall, and I started to walk to class, and I heard the SmackDown 2 music playing, and I went door to door looking, and I finally found him. Like, my name's Greg, and we gotta play. And so then when Just Bring It came out, we
Just brought it.
Damn it.
Oh, we gotta
It's
censor.
worth it though. It was worth it to drop the S-bomb on that one. I'll bleep it for you. Here's a
All
pen.
right.
Anyways, we went crazy. I still in my
Greg Fish and Mailed.
in my desk hutch right now, I have a notebook piece of paper with all of our records on it, because that's how crazy we all went. When people would come to play, and we'd write their name down and then start keeping tallies on each individual match.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, Ryan.
I'd also have to say it was a pretty close tie between Amplitude, Devil May Cry 3, and
Grim Grimoire.
You only get 2.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah, you're
All
done.
right, let's move on. Beer Ham, which by the way, is a fantastic
Yeah, it is
name.
a good name.
Says, can you guys offer any theories / speculation / rumors about the next Team Eco game?
Slash news.
Well, from what we've seen of the concept shot,
It's got a pretty
it appears
cool
that
chain.
stones in it. Yes,
chains.
Chains and stones are in this game,
Yes.
which would make me think that you are some kind of stone chain monster.
Or an S&M
Obviously,
guy.
It's probably it's probably the opposite. Now it's like
it's clearly a puzzle game.
exactly.
My
Shadow
Or a
of the
dating
kid.
sim.
going from me, because I'm a huge fan of those guys, is I think it's going to be not a sequel to either game, but it's going to tie into the universe again.
Probably.
I think it's going to have very small ties, but I think that's what it is. Gamer X1011 says, what kind of music do you guys like? Do you have
Binary
any
code.
on your PS3? I like bands I don't listen to now. Tool's my favorite band ever. But
Yeah.
I also listen to like Pink Floyd and Deftones and old Metallica. And I also listen to the occasional bit of death metal or black metal or whatever.
The occasional
like
bits. You love it.
like I'm a pretty big fan of the Black Dahlia Murder, even though I don't know any of the lyrics.
Yeah.
Because you can't understand them. And Mastodon, man, Mastodon is the
Mastodon
business.
is awesome.
Mastodon is like one of my favorite current bands. Those guys are awesome. Anybody else? Music selections?
I like just about everything except country and crap pop.
There you go.
See, I'm the opposite. I am a complete for the only band that I defend as being good is Weezer, and I mean I'm just a
Yeah.
huge Weezer fan. And so like on my PS3, I have the Rivers solo album that just came out. I burned that to my PS3 at work, so I can play that or listen to that while I work. But then yeah, I mean I just listen, I used to use the PSP in my car to play MP3s and stuff, but then the cigarette lighters are all broken, and I can't figure out how to fix them, and I don't have the money to go get it fixed by an electrician. So now I just listen to either country or terrible pop. Cause
Really?
I like junk food music. Like seriously.
See, I've already like loaded up my PS3 and then
Uh-huh.
wiped it again with like different like CDs based
Yeah.
on what I want to listen to. So it's either techno
Well,
or R&B
I mean,
or rap.
I completely missed
metal.
having that PSP because the PSP is my MP3 player. So I mean, I had all my music on there just in random. So for whatever I felt like I had it. But now, yeah, it's Rivers on the PS3, and I also just got 2 wrestling albums that I didn't want to. I'm giving away eventually, so I just burned them to my thing, and found out that, of course, the PS3 is retarded and broke them into artists. So now I have like John Cena, 1 song.
Yeah.
The Glamazon, 1 song. It's
Man.
like, oh my God, just put it in the WWE.
There's somebody
folder.
called
That
the Glamazon?
Well, that happens
Yeah.
on my
Beth
iPod because
Phoenix, the Glamazon.
I have the Probot album, which
Uh-huh.
is, if anybody doesn't know, it's Dave Grohl did like this metal album with all these different artists and different guest dude on each track, and that breaks it
Breaks
down
it
by
all down.
artist. So it's
Man.
like Max Cavalera is 1 song and King Diamond is another, and it's I can't listen to the album straight through. Easily.
I also have Monster Zero on my.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Damon's band. I burned his seed in my PS3.
It's not burning though, because you're not actually.
Copied,
ripping.
copied it,
Copying, yeah.
imported.
Ryan, real
imported.
fast, what kind of music do you listen to?
Well, I listen to a bunch, and on the PS3 I have Sgt. Pepper's, I have a Poe album, I have Beethoven on my PS3.
Whoa,
and,
look at Ryan over here.
yeah. That's I
Which
think I have like
Hello
one of-
or something else? Like one of the later ones.
Oh, it's the one where it's thematically tied about her father's death.
I think that's Hello.
That doesn't sound
Actually, no.
right,
Hello
though.
was her earlier one.
Yeah, it's something else. I'll think of it later.
Jim Power, which is a pretty good name.
Jim
It's
Power!
close to Mike Action. Those guys should hang out.
They'd fight. They'd be a great fight.
No, that would be like the leader and the sidekick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mike Action and Jim Power are
I think that's what it is. I think Mike Action's got to be the leader
the
though.
Wonder Duo.
Oh yeah.
Because just he's in
Wonder
Insomniac.
duo.
Says, did Greg update his TV from his big ass tube, or have his plans fallen into the current year of 2008 like he planned? Biatch. That's what it says.
I think you just got
I thought
beyond
my
by
plan
him.
was to do it in 2008.
I don't know.
Whatever. Yeah. We are actually we're crossing our fingers and looking very good. Currently, the fund is at a measly $150. However, that was just after Katie's birthday and having to pay some bills. But my birthday's still coming up, and my dad is putting my birthday gift into my checking account this weekend. So I'm hoping that'll be good. And then I still have my mom and my aunt and then other family members. So I
Okay.
should be good. But here's the only hope is that by GTA 4 I have a nice TV.
There you go.
You got a few weeks then.
So Jim Power put that question on the boards,
Jim Power.
and then there was a couple thread replies to it, which I want to read here verbatim from what they said. So Jim Power said, "Did Greg update?"
Power.
He said, "Did Greg upgrade from his big tube TV yet? Have his plans fallen to the current year of 2008 like he planned?" Biatch.
Mail
Singsla
beyond.
or Sa Singla replied with, "What stupid do you think is the guy asking this question?"
What?
To which 2779 replies, English, do you speak it?
Yeah, 2779.
You gotta love a Sam Jackson reference.
Eternal Darkness writes in. My English is all completely screwed up by that last thing now. He says, will Gran Turismo 5/Prologue feature realistic opponent AI or the same lame-ass single-minded AI that does nothing to avoid you and just slams into you if you happen to be within what it considers the optimal drive line? So I'll tell you, I've been playing the hell out of Prologue. I've played through it like 3 times now. The AI isn't absolutely perfect. It's not the next coming of artificial intelligent drivers, whatever. But it's way better than it was in 4. There's variance there. The computer, it's rammed into me once or twice. Like if I'm taking a turn slower than the computer does. But it seems like in those cases it had no way to avoid me, and it was coming in too fast. Generally speaking, it doesn't just run into you like it used to anymore. It comes around you, it gets out of the way, it makes faults, it'll go off the road a little bit, apply too much gas and spin out. So it's pretty cool. It's way better than it used to be. Not perfect, but it's a lot better than it was before. Now I'm continuing to my second page. That was stuff that was going to be last week. Second packet. This one's not as long though.
Extended chain mail.
And I got to go post this
if you wanna,
mercenaries thing. So we'll continue. We'll speed it up.
But this is a good one. We're having a good beyond.
I know we're doing it. We got another 10 minutes to go or something.
Well, I'm saying if you have to run, Ryan can take over.
No.
Oh, God.
Deeblin says, hey, guys, do you think that the sleeper hits are a thing of the past? On the PS1, PS2, and PSP, we've seen many games fly under the radar that have been absolutely brilliant. Patapon, anyone?
Well, that just happened.
Yeah. It seems to me that titles of the current gen are so few and far between that every game must adhere to a set genre or demographic and play it safe to justify its cost.
No way.
No way, man.
So now here's the thing: is early on in any console's life, you can look back in past, look at PS2, PS1, whatever. Games come out. There just aren't as many games in the beginning because they cost more money. They're harder to make. Once all these engines are established and once everybody's used to it and people can start cranking out games, there's going to be games left and right. So it's sort of like a, this is kind of the lull of all these experimental games. Obviously, lull. There are some, but as this console generation goes on, there's going to be more and more games which just take risks and they're like low budget things that do some crazy stuff that everybody ends up loving, like Vib Ribbon or something. So yeah, I mean they're coming and and especially considering that you have the online space and the PlayStation Store and Xbox Live and all that kind of stuff, there's going to be tons of stuff on there, and there already is.
And the other thing is that there's only so much that we can cover certain games, and even if we wind up hitting all of them, some of them will fall under the radar. I mean, it's just going to happen. So you'll get those cult hits, those sleeper hits, regardless.
Masix, whatever, says, how safe do you feel making purchases on the PlayStation Network now that it's been hacked? So, okay, let me go back to that one. I actually probably should have mentioned that in the Roper report, but...
Time for some quick news!
Flashback. It was, I forget what day this was. It was last week sometime. Yeah. The PlayStation Store got hacked for a short period of time. Basically, people hacked into the PC Store and got user login information. And so what they could do was, from what we're understanding, is they could log in and change your password and buy stuff with your account. They did not have access to credit card information, though, and Sony fixed it as soon as they figured out as soon as they learned that there was a problem. So I don't think that you really have an issue with the PlayStation Store being hacked. I don't think there's any sort of security issue there. I mean, sure, somebody might change their password if they got back in again or bought stuff, but assuming that if it ever happened again, they still didn't have credit card information, there's not really a whole lot they're doing. Maybe they could add funds to their account, but you could.
You can then get the police in on something like that just by...
Yeah, I mean, nobody's going to, buy $1,000 worth of PlayStation Store credits and make you go bankrupt or something, so...
Awesome if they did.
Yeah. 01 Doc says, SCEA's VP of Product Marketing recently commented on the Xbox 360's exclusive GTA 4 content, stating, and this is the downloadable stuff, stating that he didn't think it was a good idea. What are your opinions on the matter, and do you agree or disagree with him, and why? So the VP of Marketing, which I don't remember his name.
Scott Steinberg.
There you go. Was it Steinberg?
I believe it is Steinberg.
Okay. He said that he didn't think it was a good idea that there was exclusive content on the 360. I think that was him saying that because the PS3 doesn't have it.
Yeah,
if the PS3 had it, he would have said, we are amazing, we have it, it's the only place you can play it.
It's spin. So, it's complete and utter spin. That's part of his job.
Yeah, exactly. He's paid to do that.
What's your
whether
feeling
he
on it?
believes it or not.
What's your feeling on it, Christopher Rober?
I mean, I wish it was coming to the PS3.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Yep.
It's still going to be cool, like regardless. But
Yeah, I mean, it's still gonna be a huge game.
Yeah.
Enough stuff to do.
huge
but
game, extra stuff.
And
It sucks, yeah.
Sure.
But I understand having exclusives.
And I'm going to be very, very surprised if that stuff doesn't come to the PS3 eventually.
Yeah.
I think it's a timed exclusive, but no, that's not official.
No official word.
But I would be very surprised if it doesn't. BB Sin says, WTF, what you're doing in Japan a couple weeks ago, Jeff? Were you checking out new gameplay and features of White Knight Story?
Obviously not. If you haven't looked at the site,
This thing's probably old,
yesterday. It
so,
probably is old.
yeah.
No, it was MGS4. It was going to the insane underground bunker that they've constructed in the mountains of Nasu, which they seem to own an entire mountain. And they've got this underground layer with white tables and white chairs and descending walls with TVs sunken in the walls, and it feels like you're part of Spectre or you're in an Austin Powers movie and you're just sitting around this circular table and just getting all this information.
I don't understand that because my basement is in the U.S., but you say you went to Japan.
Yes.
Anyway, V Velvet Man, this is a weird name. V Velvet E Elvis or something.
I think
Anyway,
it's Velvet Elvis.
whatever. There's 2 V's and 2 E's. Anyway.
Velveeta.
There it is. Velveeta Elvis. If I understand correctly, the updated PSN is not going to be web-based. My question is, are we still going to have to move a cursor around? I don't, and I suspect many do not have a keyboard and or mouse set up on my PS3. The wife won't let me have that in the living room. Some form of expletive, which I'm not going to read here.
Wow. Restrictive wife.
Yeah.
How did you get the PS3 in there?
Yeah. Anyway. I'm pulling on my collar right now. The little David Letterman thing.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to him. I got to do Leno in a minute. Come on, Paul. So. I'm going to. I mean, there's no word on this, but I'm going to completely assume there is no cursor specific anymore. You might have
I
a
would
little
think
hand
not.
or whatever that
D-pad,
moves
maybe.
around. Yeah,
I
I
want
mean,
D-pad.
I think it's going to be the same thing as
That
the
and probably
360.
highlighted icons or whatever that just pop up.
Yeah, I mean, you had
pop
the
down.
cursor before because it was in the web browser, and that's what was in there. I don't know if they had a way to separate it really, but so now I would suspect that you wouldn't, and it works like Xbox. You just move around the highlighted pieces.
Yeah.
Should be way nicer.
That's what it looks like.
Guess what? That's the end of Read Mail.
Oh,
It's over.
What? Wow.
That was the weirdest transition we've ever had.
It was awesome. I loved it.
I think it was Primus
I shoved everything into
influence
one.
right there.
That was like some screamo
What was
stuff
that
right
little
there.
thing at the end? The dip dip.
That was the end of it. That was
Yeah.
me
It was-
fast forwarding through our normal stuff.
It was kind of it was
He
a
was
little
TiVo.
blip at the end of a radio transmission or something to let you know that it was over and that it's the other person's time to,
Now it's
Johnny
your turn.
Five
Start the show.
over. What I could do around the room.
Oh.
We're running out of time.
I know.
It's time for Pick of the Week.
Pick of the week.
Well, there's nothing.
DualShock 3.
DualShock
3.
Roper and I are on a watch, a GameStop watch,
Yes.
because they're supposedly supposed to get the Metal Gear Solid 4 pre-order disc.
Some places are having it already.
We got to check that today. When we're done here and you publish your thing, I'll call them. And then
You call the thing while I'm publishing. Then we'll save time.
that's what I
We'll
meant. Yeah.
coordinate our efforts.
Okay.
Plan B. I love it when a plan comes together.
Me too.
Ooh,
That
nice.
reference, I'll give it away for free as the A-Team. Good old Hannibal. So Pick of the Week is DualShock 3. It will enhance your current games. Play Resistance again with Rumble or Uncharted.
Yeah.
Those are both great games.
Without having some of the funky Bluetooth issues.
Hey, Ryan, let me ask you something.
Hey, what's up?
When you, in the middle of the week, maybe like a Thursday or something,
Yeah.
and you feel like playing a game online,
Right.
and you need some people to play against, do you ever try to play the readers?
Oh, I see what
maybe-
you're doing here.
That was so obvious. How did you not pick that up?
You have the list in front of you.
What we talking
It's the
about?
one time I wasn't looking at the
What
list.
are you doing?
Whatever.
Just
Editor
coming up
Editor beatdown.
Editor
Just coming up
beatdown.
with
Yeah.
theme
Is there an
songs
editor
over
beatdown?
there.
Editor beatdown. Well, see, we gotta start a new plan, seeing as how we're so late in the week now.
Yeah.
I would think. Yeah, I want to do it
Oh.
for sure next week. I mean, Thursday, and Friday. I don't feel
that
like
is
playing.
true.
First off, is it true The Office comes back tonight?
No, it's you know what? It was originally announced it was going to be on the 10th, which it is.
Uh-huh.
And then the NBC site updated and said April 3rd, which is
Okay.
today. And then now it's back to the 10th.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know why it ever said the 3rd.
Okay.
But
Anyways.
yeah, but it is the 10th.
We haven't really discussed anything. I think
Yeah,
we're probably gonna have to start announcing it the week before.
We'll
right?
start
The
yeah.
Office or Editor Beatdown?
Editor Beatdown.
Okay.
Well, that we should do too, actually.
Office Watch.
Yeah. Well, every show will say, hey, The Office is on tonight. Watch it.
All right, cool.
Question.
Yeah.
had
Anyways,
no
we'll put up
question.
a blog post Monday announcing when the editor beatdown is. I'd like to do Hot Shots Golf if anybody would be cool with that.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Fun.
I don't have a copy, but if I get one,
We have an office copy though, right?
Beyond. Yeah, we do.
There you go. All right.
Where's
Word.
Beyond? Ryan did a little
So
reversed
Monday,
fist bump
Monday
there.
on the thing.
Good.
Ryan, remind me to say something on Monday.
That brings us to the end of the show, I think.
Although there are a few announcements.
Oh, let's hear the announcements. I want to hear these. I don't know what they are.
Is this blog-
Actually, you do.
I might know what they are, but I don't know what you're about to say.
All
So
right,
therefore,
well,
it's kind of surprising.
Here's the first one, and it's a quick little teaser for stuff that's coming up next week. On Friday, we are going to have a special guest come in. It will be Randy from Gearbox, who will be talking about Brothers in Arms Hell's Highway. So, if you have any questions about the game itself or for Randy, then on the new thread that we're going to put up with next week's show, submit those questions.
So now to clarify, here's what's happening. He's going to come in on Friday morning, but the show goes up on Thursday.
Yes.
We don't have a time machine in the office.
Okay.
The
So
one
it'll
that
be
they
2
had,
weeks.
the one on eBay, I lost the bid to. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the show on Thursday like normal, and then Wednesday we'll do the question Q&A stuff and whatever with Randy, and then that will go up the following week. So the questions that you submit for episode 39
This
for
just
questions,
broke my head.
it is. It's a time
So-
warp. We're manipulating time here
Time and
through this
space.
entire episode. So the questions that you submit for Randy will be asked on Friday. So get them in before next Friday.
Next Friday.
Yes.
But
Not
yeah,
tomorrow.
not tomorrow.
It
Next
will be
Friday.
part of episode 40.
Okay.
But then
And this
it'll,
is episode
But
38.
then this is episode 38. Episode 39 next week will go up as normal. The following day we do the interview with Randy, which then is part of the next Thursday podcast Beyond.
Episode 40.
So you won't hear the answers until Thursday, but you have to have the questions in the Friday before, which is next Friday,
Okay.
the 11th, the
Look
day after the Office premieres again.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes it easier. On the day the Office comes out, we're gonna have Podcast Beyond. The day after the Office comes out, we ask Randy questions. A week after the Office premieres again, we have the questions from Randy on Podcast Beyond.
Yup.
Go.
When we relate to the Office, it makes more sense.
There you go.
Obviously.
Yeah.
The other thing is that tomorrow we're going to be posting a MGS4 FAQ with everything that we can talk
Tomorrow
about.
being Friday, in case people are
Tomorrow
listening
being
to this.
Friday, in case you
Yeah.
happen to be listening to this.
And then they
Tomorrow,
can
the
go.
Insider Feature with me and Bozon goes live. Look for it on PS3.
Yee!
Yeah, good. So, spotlight, little spotlight.
It'll be on there somewhere.
Yay!
can you do a Jay Leno impression real quick for us?
I need a joke. Somebody give me a joke, and then I'll say the joke again. Then
How
I'll do.
about
I'll do
one of
Leno.
Eric's knock-knock jokes?
I don't want to do those. Those
Okay.
are really distasteful. They're really funny, but and I have to explain the context
That's true.
beforehand. Here, I'll just do one. I'll just do one real fast. This is gonna be really stupid. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Banana.
Banana who?
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Banana.
Banana who?
Knock knock.
Banana.
What? No.
What? Who's there?
Banana.
Banana who?
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Orange.
Orange who?
Orange. You glad I didn't say banana?
Yeah.
Did you see that orange? Orange. I didn't say banana. You see that orange? I didn't say orange. I didn't say banana. See the banana was, and then the orange. I didn't say banana. With the banana,
Man, I'm
and
glad
then
I don't watch Jay Leno.
I didn't do his voice at all. That's what he does.
Yeah, I thought he
explains.
always goes like.
That was a terrible bang. We should just edit that out.
Yeah, that's dead.
Yeah, Maya. And the other ones were way better. All right.
I also liked your paw. Your
Buy some
Peters,
Doritos.
hi, Peters. That's me doing an impression of Family Guy doing an impression.
There you go. Worse Jay Leno. That was worse
Oh,
than
man.
Blogneck.
I get
Which
to
is
shoot Jay Leno next.
which is another
Wow.
which is another tie into another late night show host.
There you go.
So who do we have left to reference right now? Craig Kilborn.
Jimmy Kimmel?
I
Jimmy
like,
Kimmel.
Yeah, I like Craig Kilborn.
John Stewart. Do you
But
count
he
that?
doesn't. He doesn't. Well, he had the Jon Stewart show, but
Yeah.
that was a long time ago, and we
Alright.
can't. Daily Show doesn't really count. And whatever.
Whatever.
We're done.
Ryan
They had the British guy.
Oh,
whatever he is. Craig Ferguson.
Ryan Ferguson.
Ryan-
Somebody
Craig
Ferguson.
Ferguson.
Ooh, Ryan Ferguson's the murderer in Columbia, Missouri. Sorry.
Yeah. Craig Ferguson, I think his name is.
You just brought a Paul to the Beyond proceedings.
No, they don't
Yup.
knows who I'm talking about.
All right. Well, that's the end of the show. Let's hear a song.
To people in
Here's
Missouri.
something that's completely random and has absolutely no reason whatsoever. All right.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I'm going
noes.
to accidentally mispronounce a few things, but
Oh no,
you're going to have to
again.
deal. Are we ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. 残酷な天使のよのい少年よ神話になれドゥドゥドゥドゥドゥドゥドゥドゥドゥドゥドゥドゥドゥドゥドゥドゥドゥドゥドゥドゥドゥ 会う日風が今胸のドアは叩いても私だけをただ見つめて微笑ねだるあなた
Beyond.
start taking us out.
All right, thanks for listening, everybody.
Oh, man.
That's the end of the show for this week.
If they have that disc and we go to the mall, I want to get Panda Express.
Yeah. Also, if anybody has any idea what Ryan's singing, don't say it. Put it in the threads also. Maybe we'll send some other swag.
Okay. Sure.
Or the actual songs, Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't
or
forget,
something.
you can get T-shirts if you keep going. Nobody said stop.
What are you doing?
You can get T-shirts if you are one of the first 5 people to identify the movie quote, and also to make if you make a Beyond theme for either the PS, P or PS3.
Yeah, PS3, please. I want to use
PS3.
it. Yeah, PS3.
PS3.
And then identify Ryan's song. All right, peace out. We will see you guys next week. Beyond.
Yatta.
Beyond.